What's going on, YouTube? I'm not even gonna do an intro here. No, this is going straight up. This is going straight up. So it is what it is here. But big news with the Andrew Thomas deal. I got on here looking to talk about the Saquon deal, about how he got an extra 900,000 to show up to training camp, show up for his teammates to try to come out and compete. I think that was probably the good move, a good move for him. But that was huge news because I had no idea that you could tear up a franchise tag after the deadline and just draw out a 1 year deal. I had no idea that was possible. So actually, it makes a lot more sense than I previously thought, and that a lot of people previously thought for a running back to hold out and say I'm not coming to camp because they can get 1 year deal that's more money than a franchise tag, which Saquon ultimately did by threatening not to come to training camp. He got himself an extra 900,000. So you can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that at all for Saquon. 9 million, that 900,000 that he got is all incentives. 11 more total touchdowns, and qualifying for the playoffs is part of it. 65 or more catches in qualifying for the playoffs is part of it, and 1,350 rushing yards in qualifying for the playoffs is part of it. So I'm guessing they all are 300,000, and 303,000, 303,000, 303,000. So um, that's that for Saquon. But the big news that I just glanced at my phone and I was like, whoa, what's going on? Andrew Thomas has signed a deal, 5 years, $117.5 million. Big money, big contract. 67 guaranteed is a lot guaranteed. That's the most an offensive lineman has ever gotten guaranteed. Andrew Thomas is now going to be making $23.5 million a year. Um, Pretty sure that that's not the most any offensive lineman is making in the league, which is great because I was concerned we were going to have to pay Andrew Thomas $30 million a year. I was concerned that it was going to have to be $30 million a year, and I would have gladly paid that. I would have gladly paid that, but we got him for $23.5 million a year with 67 guaranteed, and I don't care. He'll play all 5 of these years added on to his deal, so he's got, I think, another year left on his deal, counting this season. Then he's got the 5th year option, which I guess they threw on there. And then on top of that, that's when the deal starts. So he's going to be under contract for the next 7 years. The next 7 seasons, Andrew Thomas will be a Giant, and I think he'll be a great player all of those 7 years. Left tackles do not fall off when they hit 30. This is a huge deal that Joe Schoen was able to get done just because of how much money was guaranteed. Andrew Thomas got here and he had to immediately make up for the Eric Flowers debacle. People were calling him Eric Flowers. They were calling him, a bust his first year where he was hurt. And he has just consistently gotten better. Not only has he gotten better, but he's been pretty much a brick wall for the last season and a half. He does not give anything up. The only sacks he gave up were that he gave up one sack. I forgot to who, but he gave up another sack to Michael Parsons, and that was the game he was literally sick, like he had the flu. So I don't know if he had the flu, but he had something bad going on, and he was clearly not himself that entire game. So the guy gave up one sack last year. Before that, probably another 1 or 2 sacks that he gave up, and besides that, I don't care if he gave up 4 sacks because if you look at most of the plays that he's out there, he's literally a brick wall. No one's getting around him. He's making plays in the run game. He's getting out on the edge. I like to see people say he's not athletic. Where? He's not Trent Williams. He's not running, a sub five. He might be running a sub 540, but he's not. He's not a fast offensive lineman. He's not a fast guy like Trent Williams, who's basically a freak. But he is an athletic. He's an athletic guy. He can get out on the edge. He has long arms. He's strong. He can do it all. He does not have any mobility issues from that perspective, and that's why he's so good in the pass game because he's able to really move his feet and stay in front of people. But I did not expect this deal to get done this early. I thought it would be I thought it'd be sometime during the season or sometime next season. But Joe Schoen, I mean, masterclass. Because again, let's pull up the average per year for all of these offensive tackles because I'm pretty sure we got him, and he may be just top 5. Let's see. I'm just doing a quick search because I know Laramie Tunsil is I know Laramie Tunsil is making a ton of money, and I thought we would have to go higher on the APY, on the average per year. So you got value average per year. You got Laramie Tunsil making 25 million a year. You got Trent Williams making 23 million a year. You got Bakhtiari making 23 million a year. So that basically puts Andrew Thomas right at, you know, top three tackles. Laramie Tunsil is still the highest paid guy. But as far as guaranteed, I mean, Andrew Thomas has $67 million guaranteed. That's $3 million more than Ronnie Stanley, who's the highest guaranteed money, who's making 19 a year. So I think Andrew Thomas over this next 7 years is going to become the best left tackle in the league. I think he's already arguably the best left tackle in the league, but I think he'll be undoubtedly the best left tackle in the league going forward, especially starting this year. And to have this guy for 7 years, it just feels great, guys. It just feels great because when we drafted Eric Flowers, I was an Eric Flowers believer. When he first got out there, and he I think he played against Greg Hardy, and he had a really good game. He had a really good game against a guy who was an elite pass rusher at that point, and just some way he just got demoralized by the fans, and he just lost it. And then he just didn't have the lateral quickness after a while. I don't know if that happened because of injury, but he just didn't cut it. He didn't cut it. He wasn't mentally built for New York. It just is what it is. I'm not saying he's a weak person. He just wasn't mentally built for New York. But Andrew Thomas is coming here. He kept his head down. He did not let that noise when he first got here get to him and turn him into a bad player, which is, I mean, sadly, New York just eats players' lives. It just eats players alive because so many players have gotten here and we watch it happen on a consistent basis. So many players have gotten here and they try their best here. They get here and they get injured, or they have a bad game, or they do something that fans just don't like. And fans just tear that player down and tear him down and tear him down. And some guys, it gets to them. Like Evan Ingram clearly had mental blockages as he was here. He would turn around every time he would see the ball coming to him, where he would like be looking at the quarterback, and it's like, oh, this ball is coming here, I gotta catch it. He drop it. When he's playing freely, when he's running deep down the field and he's going across the middle, he's catching passes, he's catching one-handed passes. So it shows that he doesn't have a hands issue. It was a mental thing. Kadarius Toney. I mean, he got here. They're talking about he's a rapper. Fans don't like that. They're attacking him on Twitter. They're saying get on the field, blah blah blah. And Kadarius Toney imploded here. And I will say that guy's kind of a weak-minded individual as far as responding to everybody, and he's really sensitive. Not weak-minded, but sensitive. He's definitely sensitive. But some players just get torn apart by that hate from the fans. And Andrew Thomas took that on the cheek. The media tore him apart. Fans tore him apart. They called him the next Eric Flowers. They called him a bust his first year in the NFL. And he's done nothing but prove people wrong, fight through injuries, be a leader on this offensive line. And I'm happy. I'm so happy that this guy is going to be here for the next 7 years. We don't have to worry about that side of the line for the next 7 years. He's the anchor. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Book it. Happy to see Andrew Thomas back, man. Happy, great news. I'll probably drop a video about camp, depending on what they do today or do tomorrow, whatever. Probably drop a video about camp or just even a preview sometime today or sometime tomorrow. But you guys, appreciate you guys hanging out with me for, what is it, 9.5 minutes now. But let me know down in the comments what you think of Andrew Thomas being a Giant for the next 7 years. And he's not even the highest paid guy. Big, big, big move by Joe Schoen. Let's go.